In this video, we'll install, review, and run benchmarking tests on the Linux Mint 7 Gigi distribution. We downloaded the ISO image from the official website. The recent version, Gigi, is available for download through Mirrors. It's recommended to download from Gignet for your bandwidth. We wrote the ISO file to a USB drive and booted the computer to start the system in live mode. Also, you can use Ventoy Boot USB. Linux Mint, an Ireland-based distribution formerly based on one side by Ubuntu and the other side on Debian. We waited for its live environment to load and showed the desktop. After booting into the live system, we clicked on the install icon, carefully selected the desired language, specified the preferred location and time zone, and customized the keyboard layout type. We entered full name, username, password, confirmed the settings, and began the installation process without any issues. We chose the appropriate target disk for installation and let the installer auto-configure the necessary partitions smoothly and efficiently. Pay attention to the location where Linux Mint will install the bootloader, especially if you have more disks, to avoid overwriting the main bootloader and losing the boot of other operating systems. Linux Mint aims to deliver a modern, elegant, and user-friendly operating system that balances power and simplicity. It's designed to be easy to use right from the start, with built-in multimedia support and a smooth out-of-the-box experience. Its popularity comes from being free, open source, and community-driven, while offering stability, security, and low maintenance. Built on Debian and Ubuntu, it provides access to around 30,000 packages and includes a reliable update manager. After the process finished, we restarted the computer, logged in, and entered the password. Similar to Peppermint, by using the same kernel, we noticed the Wi-Fi was not detected. So we powered off, changed the Wi-Fi dongle, and restarted. We waited a moment, logged in again, and entered the password. Now it worked perfectly. After selecting the available network from the list, we successfully connected to the Wi-Fi by carefully entering the correct network password. Once authenticated, the connection was established without any issues, allowing us to access the internet smoothly. We explored the pre-installed applications, which were intentionally user-driven, focused on presenting the user with many tools and utilities, and designed to provide multiple applications for day-to-day work. We opened the terminal application to begin working, then adjusted the font size to make the text easier to read and improve overall visibility. After that, we proceeded to update the system to ensure all software and packages were up to date. Once the update was complete, we installed several useful tools, including Sysbench for benchmarking, Fastfetch for system information display, and Firefox as our web browser of choice. We verified the distro, kernel version, free memory, and disk usage, and confirmed support for the Y2038 bug fix. Using systemd analyze, we measured a boot time of almost 63 seconds. We ran Fastfetch. It reported kernel version 6.12.48, based on Debian 13, using Cinnamon Desktop and X11 Window Manager. RAM usage at startup was 1.3 GB, and the system used 7.65 GB of disk space. We then ran the Sysbench tests, CPU, to measure the processor's raw computational power through mathematical calculations. Memory read and write, to evaluate the speed and efficiency of accessing and storing data in RAM. Disk read and write, to assess the performance and responsiveness of the storage device during data transfers. Thread test, to analyze how well the system handles multiple threads running simultaneously. And mutex test, to measure the effectiveness of locking mechanisms that manage resource access and concurrent processing. We also used the top command to monitor RAM usage while opening Firefox, with one window loading a web page, then 2 with video playback on YouTube, then 3 loading another instance, and finally 4 windows to compare the memory changes. After that, we shut down the system and reviewed the results. Final summary: Linux Mint Gigi, based on Debian 13 with kernel version 6.12.48, installs about 1,927 packages. It runs Cinnamon with X11, uses around 1.3 GB of RAM at startup, and takes 7.65 GB of disk space. It supports Y2038, boots in 63 seconds, and shows the GUI in 10 seconds. Firefox uses about 615 MB of RAM, increasing by 574 MB in the second instance, and 200 MB per additional window. Sysbench tests showed the CPU handled 1,023 events per second with 1 thread, and 3,354 with 5 threads, with slightly higher latency as threads increased. Memory read and write speeds were about 7 and 5.5 GB per second, respectively. Disk read and write speeds were roughly 10.34 and 6.90 megabytes per second. With 5 threads, 1,475 events per second were processed, and the Mutix test showed moderate synchronization at 11.56 events per second. Overall, the system feels user-driven, but somewhat slow, maybe due to the desktop environment and the high number of packages. Memory usage remains low, though disk space requirements are somewhat high. One notable drawback, like other Debian derivatives, is limited support for certain Wi-Fi dongles. That's it for now. We'll keep installing, reviewing, and benchmarking other Linux distributions with Sysbench. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it a like, drop a comment, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss what's coming next. Stay tuned for more.